What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Headless' Magical Mailbag. I got my co-host Nick with me. Nick, tell him what's up.
What up? What's going on? How are you, sir?
Good. What events or shows you got coming up?
Actually, tonight after this, we were supposed to have on Animal Expeditions. He was a podcaster from Charlie's Beyond Belief. There's another Bigfoot show. Unfortunately, he had to cancel, but we got Julia because Cosmic Peach was going to be in on this one. She's coming out and she's pulling one for the team, and she's going to cover serial killers who thought they were vampires. It was something that she covered on her show for Halloween. I covered vampires for Halloween, so she was like, "Yo, let's just do this instead." So people wait until after the fact, after the show around 9:00. We will go live again. So check that out.
Awesome. Sounds like fun. We got to talk about that because we don't have a Van Helsing on our side, right? Like,
yeah, you were just saying that. Like, yo, we don't got a Van Helsing,
right? I mean, come on, guys, let's get it together. We need at least one vampire hunter, but can't even.
It really doesn't even take much. You just need a sharp stick and some garlic,
right?
You're good to go.
And if these sickos are as batty as they seem to be, you show up with a sharp stick and they'll go running away. So it'll be a fun time. What's up, Lucy? Mansion, welcome back. But yeah, so let's see. Do you want to go first with your symbol? You were telling me about it earlier.
Yeah. Pull it up. Let's show everybody. We got the seal of the Archangel Michael, the Heptameron manual line. When the Grimoire talks about the angel of the Lord's day, they mean Michael. His emblem is the Solomonic tradition. His emblem in the Solomonic tradition is a circular seal. It's a round inscribed with divine names on it. Like common ones are, try to pronounce these the best: Sabaoth, the Lord of Hosts, Athanatos or something like that. I'm screwing that up. No, Athanatos or something like that. The immortal. Then there's Shaddai, or in here, Saday, and then or it could be Shaddai, Shaddia. And yeah, so you can get like those words around it, and then in the middle you kind of get the sigil itself. The manuscripts gives like slightly different drawings, but the grammar normally stays the same. Michael's character is always in the center with the holy names around it as well. And you can see a family of these drawings, both in the Heptameron tradition and that is in the 15th century Munich manual. So between both of those, you'll see these. Again, go ahead.
Is this 14th century and then it was modified in the 15th century, or is?
Yes. Well, 13th, 14th century in the Liber Juratus, if I'm saying that correctly, the Sorn Book of Honorius. That was 13th, 14th century. You'll see it there. So, I mean, I would assume the one in the 15th might be slightly different. I mean, you could easily Google this and see different ones, but this is like specifically from the memory that I have.
Interesting. I'm seeing a lot of sigils that look a lot like the Enochian.
Yeah,
that's definitely a big inspiration too. Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't look too far off from like a lot of times when you see like I forgot what it was I just watched recently with like the Prophecy. You remember that movie, that old movie?
I do.
Yeah, our guy, Christopher Walken was in it. Yeah, he was playing Archangel Gabriel. There was one point where there was like angel, because they're angels. This is what I thought was funny too. I was like, is this just a reason to show occult symbolism? Well, somebody's supposed to be an angel and they're down in the fucking cave hiding out. And like, just because you're an angel, that means you automatically start writing angelic script on the wall. Like, I mean, who are you really writing a story to yourself? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but they were showing shit, all these symbols on the wall because there's an angel here now. It looked like a lot of this type of stuff, actually. You still there? Oh, you muted.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm hacking up a lung.
Oh, okay. My bad. Yeah, I have my notes up so I can't even see you. But yeah, let me continue on my notes. On where it comes from, the long backstory. Byzantine and Latin grimoires. The Hygromanteia, probably saying that right, wrong, a late Byzantine magical treatise of Solomon, is kind of where like all these spur from, or a lot of these later angelic magic circled names this time. Supposedly, a lot of them do possibly come from that book. That material fed into Latin books in the 15th century and set the stage for the seals you see in the early modern Europe ones, for the most part. Then you go on to Liber Juratus, like I just said, and you get the sworn book of Honoris, 13th to 14th century. You already find some core. You will see the consecrated seal inscribed with the divine names and the angelic attributions that structures a conversation with heaven, basically. And then you get by the 15th century a section that calls Astral Magic Manual inside the CLM 849. I don't even know what the fuck that is. Sometimes, like when you get these manuscripts of shit that's like owned in these places, like they have like MS and then a number because it's you're just like classifying it like that. It lays out the seals of the archangels explicitly, including a labeled one called Sigillum Michaelis Angeli, and that same century turning ecosystem gives us like the compact, later known one as the Heptameron, where it kind of breaks it down to a 7-day angelic handbook. So it makes it, and then that is also attributed to some people. I've heard of him. I've mentioned him on the show, Pietro Diabano. And then you also see it then going into Agrippa's work, which we mentioned him on here numerous times, which is probably, odds are, at least there might be a chance. The reason why it looks familiar is because it's probably in that book too, and we've probably seen it. Yeah, that's what yeah. That makes a lot more sense. So, then you have it going over to there. Again, then who made it? They kind of consider it anonymous. A copy. They think it's kind of obviously other ones are made like they don't think it's like the same person. Kind of like with the other situation that I had with the last seal that I used. They don't, not seal, but like that whatever the fuck, that unicorn thing. I guess that's a seal. It's kind of like suspected like to have been like just wasn't copied. It was just made by like multiple different people would just draw it. But there's like they don't know, or they can't attribute it to exactly who they think did it. And how was it used? It was normally to try to at least contact or work with that angel, and normally it would be done with the day in the planet cycle. So again, depending on how this person is attributing Archangel Michael, let's say he's got him with Mars, you're going to do it on a Tuesday, most likely.
Right.
All that shit. Or if he's with the sun, you would do Sunday with Michael, and they would suggest to open up with a praise, a divine praise, and trace the circle of names, burn the appropriate incense, and display Michael's seal, and speak the conjurations. So, how far back does Michael and magic go with Archangel? With magic with Archangel Michael. Some people will say that, depending on how you want to look at it, even goes back to the Greek magical papyri. So, working with him supposedly goes back that far, and I figured I'd just throw that in there. But yeah, that's basically about it for the most part. Again, you'll see it here, or then like there's other versions. I should have probably showed it where you see like the circular disc type stuff going on, but that would be more of like the Solomonic. If people know what we're talking about, like Goetic looking almost.
Right. So you've got the standard Goetic setup as your altar and your circle and your summoning and all the rest of that. They describe it pretty well in that book. And then you can use a lot of these other sort of plug and play applications. There's a lot of if you think about it, like you're trying to program the basic nature of the universe. So these are supposed to be, applicable to anybody that picks them up, supposedly. But yeah, it's interesting. I like it.
A lot.
Yeah, like it seems like there was a magical language going on within these scribe places within all these monks, like all these monasteries. They're the ones doing the transcribing of all of these different works. They're the ones that have access to these different magical books. They kind of sit on the back shelves. And then these monks get into that stuff. And that's when you start to see demons being summoned and all the rest of this stuff happening in
Uh,
Europe. Is
Real
Go
quick,
ahead.
too, just because I just realized I forgot I had the notes off the screen. I forgot it's just 4 sigils on here. It's the bottom one that's actually the Archangel Michael one. I'm sorry, there's all those other ones on the screen. That's that bottom one. That is the one
Got it.
before it starts getting turned into the disc when it's written linear, kind of like that. That's his Archangel Michael.
Interesting. And so that's Latin, right? So they're putting the Latin phrases to conjure him up around these different sigils. It's interesting. They had to go with Latin.
Yeah.
Latin's the magical language.
No. You know how many? It's like almost any person that I really have ever covered on. Most people I've covered on the show that are very important. Probably 98% of them all. It's in written in Latin. All of it.
Well, for the Greeks in the PGM, their magical language was Hebrew.
Or got translated into Latin, and then it spurred off the Renaissance. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. Well, in the PGM, they've got all of these phrases and Hebrew words from the Bible in that book. So in the Headless Rite or the Bornless ritual, they have all this stuff about Abraham. And it's like, this is clearly not an Abrahamic spell. What are you guys doing here? And this was in the 2nd century, so it wasn't even before Christianity was mandatory. So I think the way that they were selling all of this stuff and, having all this Jewish, magical stuff in their spell work was that this is the magical language. And that's how it was being sold to all the magicians back then. So it wasn't just, the Christians that were spreading it. It was all of these magicians that were using the Hebrew words as some sort of a magical sigil, which I thought was kind of interesting because it's like all this stuff from the Bible immediately gets transferred over to magical texts. How's that work out? Well, I think they were marketing it like that,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's even I even say with marketing. You get a lot of people even say when it comes to some grimoires, you have to some of you could basically just toss out the window because most of them are just marketing schemes to rich motherfuckers that didn't know what the hell they were reading.
Right. There's a lot of like mystique that goes along with magical spells and stuff that if you can kind of, put that into the conscious mind of all these people around you, you can really start to have sway with them if you speak that language, if you know these incantations and whatnot, because, it's not just superstition. Something else is going on. I think there is a transfer of energy, and the words you use represent a part of that energy as well. So I got my symbol here.
Oh, look at that.
What do you think of that?
That's nice.
Just a general impression.
It looks familiar, but I don't think I've seen it.
So the Greeks had the conception that the breezes, right, were born from Eos, and Eos is their goddess of the dawn. And so this is the Aorai. So these would be the spirits of the morning born of Eos that are these morning breezes. But this is also where we get the word aura, right? So the aura, the place between, sun up and nighttime has the most aura. Like if you're doing aura viewing at that time, that's when you can see it all really crisp and clear on that really early blue light. It's really kind of interesting to me that their symbol for those morning breezes is aura or the aurai, right?
Yeah.
So these would be the spirits of these morning things. I'm obsessed with the dawn and aura viewing, and so I see that and I'm like, they were on to something. They were listening to something because they got it. They nailed it good. And she was also the mother of the 4 winds from the classical direction. So like you were talking about Archangel Michael, he would be the wind of the west, I believe, right? He would be
or maybe south with fire. I don't know. It depends on how people look at him.
Probably south.
Yeah, with fire. But that's how he would be, if I remember correctly, in the sorry, hold on one second. The lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram.
Right.
He would be associated with the fire, which is in the south, yes, right? East, west. Yes. Sorry, I had a picture in my head.
Well, I was listening on Glitch Bottle, one of my favorite podcasts on magic and stuff. This guy was talking about his Solomonic magic experience, and he
I'm
said,
trying to get that guy on now. Thank you.
"Yeah, well, he was talking about how he always does the summoning ritual for the four winds before he does any other Solomonic ritual because he finds that by summoning these spirits of the four winds before he does anything else, that it gets to where it's going a lot better and easier than if he's doing it without that. So if you're going by the spirit model of magic, by bringing in the four winds or these, early morning spirits, if that happens to be the time of day that you're doing it at, you're actually increasing the communicative ability between what you're saying and the spirits that you're trying to get your messages to. So I think that's kind of interesting because, you've always got these messenger spirits like the zephyrs.
Yes. Well, even angels, they may be
Right.
messengers. There's always,
Exactly.
you ever notice that there's always somebody making a delivery in these stories. So somebody
Right.
got there's always a traveler.
Absolutely. So that's my symbol. Did you have anything else?
No. Is she what is she like? You said I don't know why I get this idea of wind with her.
Yeah, she's holding up like a head thing, a head scarf or some sort of scarf, and it's billowing with the wind.
Yeah, like that. Even
She's
that would go with like traveling. In my opinion, wind, air, intelligence.
sailing.
Yeah, of the
I mean, you're
mind.
going everywhere on wind, right?
Yeah.
And there was in the story of the Odyssey, right? He had the bag with the four winds in it, and he was handed that by Aeolus, and Aeolus is the master of the four winds, and that's how he moved, halfway across the Mediterranean in no time. Is he used that bag with the four winds? Something interesting, but I think there is a lot of magical context to the stories of the Odyssey and the Iliad. You've got the fatal wound with Achilles being in the ankle. And then we find all throughout these occult symbols, there's something having to do with the ankle as being the weak spot, or maybe the ankle is touching something else. Like we were seeing the lady, what was her name? The strength card, right? She's got her heel on top of the lion.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot more. And what's with that hand position too? Like, is there something magical about the hand position that she's making? She's got the two last fingers up, right? And she's sort of gripping it. That's kind of interesting.
I think there's a lot of times, just as my opinion, what's going on with the legs and the hands are very important. Something up, for the life of me, I can't figure out the leg shit. I don't even know where to go with that stuff. I don't know. It's just very weird for me. I don't know how to figure that shit out.
Well, I was thinking a little bit about Gurdjieff, right? And Gurdjieff is trying to get your body into different geometric shapes, right? So in the act of changing the planes of relationship from your body to other parts of your body, you're actually changing something fundamental about your being. So there's some kind of a shift in consciousness as well, which could have to do like all the symbols that you have to do with the Golden Dawn,
Yeah.
They're changing your body's geometry so that you can, experience a different or slightly modified form of consciousness. But
you got any mail this week or what?
I'm checking it.
Before you go to the mail, I do have Giordano Bruno Part 1 dropping tomorrow, premiere 9:30 a.m. Then Part 2 will drop next week at 9:30 in the morning as well. He is a very interesting man. He is also a Gnostic saint. Believe it or not, I have actually covered a bunch of Gnostic saints. I just never announced it like that. But yeah, we've actually gotten a lot of Gnostic saints covered, and I'll be covering more. He's also, my opinion, the reason. Well, it is the reason why, or he's the first person to come out public, known publicly on the books of saying this. For the most part, the reason why we even believe in other planets having life out there besides our solar system comes from this man who was burnt at the stake. Now, he was not necessarily burnt at the stake for that reason. They pretty much, accused him of heresy, just everything that you pretty much could have done to get fucked by the Vatican then. But that was one of the claims, Even like Galileo didn't get screwed for his way of looking at the planets until later. So, like, Bruno's, that didn't impact that, but his other beliefs. And it really wasn't anything crazy. He was just saying, like, I just think you're a little bit wrong. Like his big thing, and it's so funny. I was like, yo, this motherfucker was really no different than like this show at times, or even us. It's just like he would just come out, like he'd find a new place to live at. And I guess somebody would come out, like some philosopher or somebody that's like known or academic would come out and say something that he thinks was just completely absurd, and then would spend the time to publish the paper and say that, when most people wouldn't. So they're just like, oh my God, this guy's crazy. So it was a lot of even of that. He was just publicly acknowledging, or he would call people like courteous pigs, or they're just basically idiots. And I guess he didn't like that. So that was actually what caused a lot of the problem, was just his disagreements in certain things.
Right. A lot of modern scientists will call themselves members of the religion of Giordano Bruno, right? Because what they want to,
how influential that guy is, and how many.
I mean, if you read his stuff, and like people like Bill Nye and the who's the black
Carl Sagan was big into him. I mean,
Carl Sagan,
how people view Carl Sagan. I mean, I think the guy was pretty smart.
Well, I think Carl Sagan influenced everybody else to pick up that mantle, because there's no way in hell that they're reading any Giordano Bruno. Yeah. These guys have no idea what they're even talking about. If they knew what they were talking about, Giordano in a lot of ways is considered a quack by today's scientific standards,
Yo, there was stuff though. What's crazy? I don't want to give too much away, but there is a lot of things in his stuff now that when some people look at it, they're like, yo, he was actually explaining like science, but used totally just different words.
Right.
Yeah.
And he had a different way of approaching it. And you also have the memory palace idea that he was trying to champion.
Insane. Again, that's why I wish we could get like, a trusted version of like Latin, translated, because I would love to get my hands on like that book, because it was like almost like a known thing that shit worked. And he said, give it about 6 months, it works. It's fucking
absolutely
weird.
Well, I think that was a big hallmark of polytheism, because what we see is people like Plato saying that he hated writing because it's making people forget. It's just like our problems with the cell phones nowadays. It's like we don't know how to spell anymore. We don't know how to do all this stuff. He was saying the same thing about writing. So they had to remember fucking everything.
Oh, and now we all have like neither emojis or like LOL. Shit. You're not even using the word anymore, or words.
So, this is one of the reasons why I think that they were so much smarter back then is we can't even calculate all the things that they had to keep in their head 24 hours a day as they were doing all sorts of other stuff. They did it. We got to keep looking at our phones to check to see what we can remember. But, honestly, how rare is it to even see a waitress that doesn't have to use a notepad anymore? They used to be able to do it like that.
Yeah.
And remember everything.
Yeah.
All right. So I got one from Kylo Hare.
Oh, nice.
Howdy. It's been a minute since we briefly connected last time. LOL. I had to go and knock up my wife and then go off and write a book. Unrelated incidents.
This is probably why you should read these things before you start them off.
No, that was a perfect joke right there. As I wait on the distributor to finalize my account so I can finish up my publishing process, I thought I should do some legwork and share the story. What better way than by telling other stories and ideas to get people interested in reading my fictional tale? With the people I like their show, hit me up. We can chat about whatever and come up with something to make a good podcast for you. I was thinking I could share about an entertaining into the natural environment around me and being a part of earth alchemy. The things that I've noticed in the changes in the soil and life and the interaction with the elements at large when working. You guys may be interested in some of my methods when setting up a culture research institute you mentioned on Magical Mailbag. I have a bunch of music and other stuff on my website now if you want to check anything out. It's rotminds.com, rotminds.com. Be careful. All right, so that's where he left it. But sounds interesting. Possible guest idea, opportunity.
Yeah.
That's what I got this week.
All right. Guy should have thrown in a fake fucking bullshit story at least.
Well, he was talking about earth magic. I think that's a good intro. I mean,
yeah.
I just got this book this week.
What is that?
Ley lines and earth energies. Hopefully it's good. You never know with the cult books. You know, sometimes you get a real gem and sometimes people are just dropping the ball like crazy. But especially when it comes to
cult books.
geomancy.
Oh man, yeah, cult books is very I say it's a hit and miss. I don't know. If the person's got like Raven, Black, some other fucking type of word like that in their name, just don't even buy it. Yeah. Blackstone, Heart, fucking shit like that. Don't just skip that shit. Don't even look at it. They're already trying to get you with their name because that's not their real name. I can tell you that right now.
Right. You know, the problem is that people think that it doesn't work if it's coming from those people. But what I find is that they're actually better at magic than
they know what the fuck they're doing, believe me.
Yeah.
Their magic was making you buy that book.
Partially. Yeah.
That's what I think is the funniest when you buy a money magic book. It was like that guy just fucking made it work. You bought his book. He made money.
He made that spell happen. But at the same time, it's like I don't think magic really depends on the intelligence of the person who's casting the spell.
No,
like, I think a lot of times
it's being used on.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it. Because if you know the spell, you can work your way out of it. If you don't know the spell, oh, you're fucked.
Or you might catch yourself at least. So, yeah.
Right. You can catch the patterns. That's also very important.
Well said, the patterns. Or the change.
Because it's not just, poltergeist activity, but like you'll notice that these certain numbers that are used in the spell work will start popping up in your own life. So you can actually deconstruct what's happening to you and who might be casting it based off of the patterns that you see around you.
I agree.
But also that's very important to have spiritual hygiene, which means no buying books about money magic. I think we can all agree on that. It's bad for your spiritual hygiene in general.
Yeah. I hate to say it, unfortunately. As much as
Raven Gladstone is not giving you the right information.
Raven Blackheart.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to do this as a parody now. Raven Blackheart's money magic. Put makeup all over my face. It would be fucking amazing.
Yo, start a whole new channel that might take off.
Oh, that would take off. A parody channel, dude.
Yo, you got to make an Etsy shop to sell dope shit now. His talismans and candles.
Right, I'm gonna just wrap pieces of bark and string and just send those out for $300 a pop.
Say it came from like some rare forest or some shit.
It's enchanted wood.
Yeah. There's truffles growing in.
Dude, I'm gonna make so much money. All right, guys.
Yes.
Keep an eye out for my new YouTube channel, Raven Blackheart, Blackheart Stone. And my money magic series.
There we go.
All right,
I'll tell you exactly how it works for $15 a month.
$50 a month. You can get the secrets to money magic as well.
Yeah, we're assholes.
All right, guys. Well, it's been good seeing you.
Yeah.
See
you
we'll
later.
come back in just a little bit. We're doing a
Hell yeah.
live stream with
Julia.
Cosmic Peach.
He's back again. So check it out.
All right. Check it out. Bye, y'all.